gorgeous woman in a bar. They talk, they connect, and they end up living together. They go back to her place, and as she shows him around her apartment, he noticed that her bedroom is completely packed with teddy bears. Hundreds of small bears are on a low shelf, medium-sized ones on a shelf a little higher, and huge bears on the top shelf. The man is kind of surprised that this woman would have a collection of teddy bears, especially one that's so extensive, but he decides not to mention this to her. After a night of passion, as they are lying together in the afterglow, the man rolls over and asks, smiling, "Well, how was it?" The woman says, "You can have any prize from the bottom shelf." Two old retirees were talking about naughty acts in cafe. When they finish, the two retirees pay their bill and leave the cafe. A young man sitting next to them has overheard the conversation and smiles to himself, thinking it would be quite amusing to see two old retirees going at it. He gets up and follows them. Sure enough, he sees the two retirees near the factory. The little old lady pulls off her panties and lifts up her dress. The old man pulls down his pants and grabs the lady's hips, and the little old lady then reaches for the fence. Well, what follows is 40 minutes of the most athletic acts the man has ever seen. The little old man is banging away at the little old woman at a pace that can only be described as phenomenal. Limbs are flying everywhere. The movement is a blur, and they do not stop for a single round. Finally, they collapse and don't move for an hour. The man is stoned. Never in his life has he ever seen anything that equates to this, not in the movies, not from his friends, not from his own experience. Reflecting on what he has just seen, he says to himself, "I have to know his secret if only I could like that now, let alone in 50 years' time." The two old retirees have by this time recovered and dressed themselves. Gathering the courage, he approaches the older man. He says, "Sir, in all my life I have never seen anybody screw like that, particularly at your age. What's your secret? Could you scroll like that 50 years ago?" The retired replies, "Son, 50 years ago, that fence wasn't electric." A young couple had been married for a couple of weeks, but the man was always asking his wife to quit smoking. One afternoon, she lit up after some love making, and he said, "You really should quit." She, getting tired of his nagging, said, "I really enjoy a good cigarette after eggs." He replied, "But they stunt your growth." She asked if he ever smoked, and he replied that he never had. Smiling and lifting her gaze to his groin, she said, "So, what's your A couple is working in a garden, and the wife goes to take a shower. Her husband is looking for a rake and can't find it. He yells up to his wife, but she motions to him from the window that she can't hear. So he points to his eyes, hits his knee, and then makes raking motion. I need the rake. She replies by pointing to her eye, grabbing her left breast, slapping her butt, then rubbing her crotch. The man is confused and runs upstairs. What? What was that? The woman says, I left it behind the box. A girl named Mary is in line to go to heaven, and while she is at the pearly gates talking to Peter, she hears a drill and then a scream. She asks, "What's that?" Peter replies, "Oh, that's just an angel getting her halo fitted." The woman thinks about it and then starts to talk to him again. Then she hears another scream and asks, "What's that?" Peter smiles and says, "That's just an angel getting her wings fitted." She says, "Fuck this, I'm going to hell." Peter says, "But stay, you and you there." She just smiles and says, "At least I have the holes for that."